Welcome to the land of direct-to-DVD sequels. This is where it gets a bit complicated. Lilo and Stitch 2, made in 2005 by Tony Leondis, who worked on a bunch of other Disney sequels along with directing the movie Igor. It was okay. Along with Michael Labash, who you may know for also directing Nothing? Story-wise, it's the second film in the franchise, it taking place right after the first. But technically, it's the third film to be released, with Stitch the movie being released in 2003, 2 years before this one, along with the TV show having been running during this film's release. The film received mixed reviews, ranging from liking it to thinking it's downright disgusting and horrible. What do I think? Wait until the end of the video, you impatient idiot. The film was originally going to be released in cinemas, but for some reason or another it was set to instead just be a direct-to-DVD sequel. Can it hold up to the first film? Would it have been worthy for a theatrical release? Let's find out. This is Lilo and Stitch 2. So the film starts out once again with the Disney logo, but this time it's... Hey, are you alright? Ugh. Seems it must have not liked being abducted in the first film. What is this? This build-up. This swell of music in the background. I'm intrigued with Lilo. Oh wow, this is looking great already. I'm hooked. Show me the rest. Jesus! So we see Stitch flying down to Earth again, like in the first film. But what is not like the first film is he doesn't crash land. He actually flies straight down to Earth and destroys everything in his path. I have to say, right off the bat, the animation is great, it being almost identical to the first film. No wonder they wanted to release this to theaters. Oh, the fat guy finally gets to lick from the damn ice cream. It falls off anyway, but hey, it counts. He comes across the house and proceeds to kamikaze bomb it, killing presumably everyone except for Lilo. Jesus, this opening is dark. Holy, did he just scratch her?
Oh, wake up! Stitch! Wake up! Stitch, wake up!
Yes, it was all a dream. But speaking of Lilo, you may notice this time she sounds a bit different. And that's because she isn't being voiced by Davy Chase like usual, but instead by her good friend Dakota Fanning. Which brings up an interesting topic that I may mention in another video, but if you want to hear my thoughts on that change, you can wait until the end. So after Stitch tells Lilo about the dream, she figures out...
It's my professional opinion that you're afraid of turning bad again.
And decides to test his goodness level in increasingly extreme ways, until eventually telling him he has nothing to worry about. Until...
Lilo, Stitch! You're gonna be late for hula class!
Except that! Stitch!
We see the rest of the family eating breakfast, and it's pretty cool seeing them just living their daily lives like this, at least before the TV show. As the two go down the stairs, they ask, since they're going to be late, if they can use the hovercraft. Wait, the hovercraft? The thing from the first movie? This movie actually references it? My god, I wondered where those had been!
Alright, you can take it if you can find it. I hit it so good this time, they're never... I gotta find a better hiding place for that thing.
After a nice ride listening to Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride, the two arrive at the hula class, where the teacher ends up telling them that for a competition that is coming up, they're going to have to make their own hulas. The girls end up talking about how useful their parents are going to be, especially their mothers, with helping them out, and Lilo ends up feeling down because she doesn't have her parents anymore to help her. And seeing as Nani is always busy with work, she doesn't really have much help.
It's your mother.
My mom?
She won the competition when she was your age. She was as beautiful as an orchid and as graceful as a rolling wave. Here, to inspire you.
As the two leave the class, out comes the big-haired girl, Myrtle.
Hey, Lilo. Maybe your dog can take a picture of me when I win the competition. How do you know you're gonna win? I think it's pretty well known that I'm the best dancer in the 7-year-old division.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Did she say 7-year-old division? One of the best things about the first film is that they never specifically said how old Lilo was. So little girls from the age 5 to like 10 could relate to her because they didn't specifically say what age she was. But now this movie just goes and completely destroys that and officially says, nope, she's 7. And anyone else who isn't that age isn't going to be able to connect. Not making a very good case for yourself, movie. Anyway, on comes one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie.
You'll never be like your mom. Never.
Okay.
That's it!
Smile!
As the teacher gets brought inside the house, Jumbo and Pleatley... I don't want to talk about this bit. Basically, Jumbo and Pleatley dress up as their relatives, as they don't want to arouse suspicion that they're aliens, and it's just a scene full of cringeworthy lines, and let's just skip ahead. Lilo's brought outside by the teacher and is told that because of her behavior, she isn't going to be allowed in the competition, unless she behaves.
Thank you, Kumu. You don't have to worry. I have seen the error of my ways. I will be good from now on and be the best hula dancer ever. You'll see, I can do it. There's no way I can do this.
I just love cuts like that. Even though they're really cheesy and predictable, they just make me laugh every single time. Back at the treehouse, Lilo ends up doubting herself and thinking she'll never be able to match up to her mother. When on comes an honestly extremely touching scene, and is one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie.
I'll never be like her. You think I can do it?
We do together.
Let's win this thing, okay?
After they go through multiple hula ideas and fail, we cut to Nani, who says,
Okay, everyone, family fun night is ready to begin.
When she checks on the two of them, they tell her they don't want to come down because they're busy. And, well...
That's it, you two. I have been cooking for hours and finally picked up the house just so we can have quality fun time like Mom used to. You're part of this family.
Wait, am I part of the family now too? Do I need to go down too?
So whether you like it or not, you are gonna come downstairs and have family fun. Fun, fun, fun.
Alright! As everyone is having fun, something ends up happening to Stitch.
What?
Oh, no.
As Jumbo and Pleatley go to the ship, we end up getting the backstory of Stitch's creation. We find out how he was made and how quickly he learned stuff. We also find out that he wasn't fully charged at the time because the police came to arrest him, and then on went the events of the first film.
Now his circuits are going haywire. If it continues, his circuits will burn themselves out like supernova.
Lilo goes and cheers up Stitch with a story about Elvis, and they figure out that Elvis is the key to finding out an idea for their hula. They set up a plan to go to every single location in Hawaii that Elvis went to in order to get inspiration. And on proceeds a montage where the two of them go to each location and Stitch ends up malfunctioning and wrecking the place, his goodness level going down in the process. As the two of them sit on a bench...
That's it! I got it! Elvis is trying to tell us to do a hula about a chicken!
No, he's not.
The chicken steals their map and they give chase, and... Okay, if you hurry, you can.
No.
How is this, of all clips, not become a meme already? It's just so good. As they stop off at the gas station, they hear two musicians playing a song, and they end up figuring out that that would be a great hula idea. The song along with the story behind it. Eureka! Back at the lab, we find out in order to make a chamber that can recharge Stitch, they need common household items to make it. David ends up stalking by the house and Pleatley ends up making him leave by distracting him, letting Jumba go get the parts. Lilo ends up explaining the story behind the hula, and it's actually a good choice. It's a really good one.
Once there was a beautiful goddess named Hi'iaka and a handsome mortal named Lohiau. They were as close as two people could be. But one day, Pele, the volcano goddess, grew jealous of their friendship. So she took Lohiau and threw him into a volcano filled with molten lava. Hi'iaka discovered his body in a cavern by a sea cliff. And she stayed with him, praying to the gods to bring Lohiau's spirit back. And it worked. Her love brought him back to life, proving that love is more powerful than death.
Foreshadowing. As we cut to the rehearsal, Stitch sadly has another episode and Lilo ends up being forbidden from rehearsing. After Stitch hears Lilo complain about him, saying,
Nani, his goodness level.
he gets the idea to do good deeds in order to get his goodness level up and to prove her wrong. And this is where the film can get pretty disgusting. However, on comes another favorite scene of mine.
That's good.
Stitch, just get out of here, fuzzball.
No, you out.
No, you.
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 Fine. I will.
No, Stitch will.
Open the door, Trog.
Who's there?
Stitch, open the door.
Okay.
I'm not touching you.
She's touching me. She's touching me.
I'm not touching you.
You're touching me.
Not touching.
Touching me.
It's free air.
It! Go to your room and make up like loving friends.
You're gross.
Stupid cat.
Keep walking.
After they both end up apologizing to each other, Lilo ends up leaving the room, but Stitch has another episode. He ends up wrecking everything, along with the props the two of them had made for the hula.
Something wrong with Stitch.
I know what's wrong with you. You're bad, and you'll always be bad.
Back at the lab, they end up testing the new chamber, it blowing up.
That's it, Pleatley. It's over. I can't build a new fusion chamber.
Sure you can, just like you built the first one.
I didn't build first one. I ordered it from catalog.
A catalog?
What catalog was that? Jumbo feels he's failed, but Pleatley ends up convincing him not to give up and to actually build the chamber this time. In the next scene, we get more character development between the two sisters. It's not as good as in the first film, it's actually more interesting because this time they specifically talk about their mother.
I have to win the contest, just like Mom did. If I win, she'll know I'm good, and she'll be proud of me.
I think Mom would be proud of you just for being you.
You too.
Thanks, Lilo.
Damn. One training montage later, inspired by Rocky, and Lilo is ready for the competition.
Think Lilo will show up? After that rehearsal, she wouldn't dare.
exist. We see Myrtle do her dance, and it's an ad for her dad's store, Ha. But what's more important is back at the lab, the two have actually built a new chamber, but they don't have time to test it. Cut back to the competition, and Lilo is about to go on. And get ready, people, from here on out, it gets heavy.
Stitch?
I just want to say, I'm...
Can't talk now. I have to go on.
I know. Oh no.
Ultimate fear. Look at his face. He fears what he's become. His fear isn't becoming evil like he thought in the beginning. It's hurting Lilo. That'll become extremely relevant later. Lilo, being too distracted by what just happened, ends up ditching the hula, apologizing to her mother and instead going out looking for Stitch. The others join her, but they too haven't found him, and they all go looking at the house.
No.
Turns out he's in Jumba's ship, planning to leave forever. They give chase, communicating with him through Pleatley's phone.
Stitch!
Huh?
Can you hear me? I need you. Please come back.
Stitch can never come back.
He has one final episode which is so great he ends up crashing the ship into a mountain.
It was my best hiding place.
As Lilo arrives, Stitch lies flung out of the ship at the edge of a cliff. She picks him up and drags him into the chamber, just barely being able to turn it on.
Stitch, you're gonna be okay now.
No, you can't do this again.
Please be okay.
No. No. No, don't you dare. Don't you. No!
Stitch, sorry.
Stitch.
Hurry before... Oh! You're too late.
No. I'm sorry, I didn't want to say this, but we know he's not dead. Like I said, this came out in 2005. The TV show had been running for 2 years at this point. And this film is set before the TV show. We know he's not dead. And yet this film does its damnedest to make it look like he is dead. He has his last dying breath, everyone mourns him. Look at Jumba, he's goddamn devastated. They even zoom out like the film's just gonna cut to the credits. If nothing else existed besides these two movies, and I didn't know whether he makes it out or not, I would be devastated. I would be a complete and utter wreck of tears. Hell, even though I know he makes it out, I still can't help but get teary-eyed at it. The animation, the voice acting, Lilo's final words to him, it's just done so perfectly well. It's so far the saddest thing I've ever seen in this franchise, and I don't think anything will ever be able to beat it.
Stitch, not bad. Stitch, fluffy.
But how is it possible?
It's not.
Stitch, okay now?
No more nightmares.
Until the sequels! Yes, love is stronger than death and brings Stitch back to life. Sure, it's cheesy and typical Disney, but it's done so well I can't help but like it. The movie ends with them doing a small charming hula dance where the intro to the TV show was born. Nani tells Lilo that her mother would be proud of her and the credits roll. So that was Lilo and Stitch 2. Jesus Christ! I like the film. A lot. Is it better than the first film? In general, no. I don't think anything could be. But in some areas, it actually is a lot better. The animation is still perfect, the soundtrack, as little of it there is still very well done. It of course has a nice message and theme to it. The two main plots are definitely worth watching the movie for because they're so well done. However, the characters are rather dumbed down, and some of the scenes are just so cringeworthy it's hard not to skip them. The film of course had heavy themes of friendship and family, like all of this franchise does, but specifically it also focused on the lost mother trying to live up to parents' expectations, fear of what someone is becoming, and loss of control. Now on to the main thing. What could I possibly like more about this film than the first film? Not only does it amp up the comedy, spawning some of the funniest scenes in the whole franchise, amp up the drama, spawning one of the saddest, if not the saddest scenes in the whole franchise, but the main reason I like it so much is actually the way Stitch's character is handled. I adore his character in this film. Sure, seeing him develop through the first film is great, going from an evil monstrosity to something more loving and caring than that, but in this film, he actually feels like a person. Express his feelings, try and explain what's going on, try to understand and explain what's wrong with him. He even speaks in the first person at one point. He tries his hardest to reassure and make Lilo happy. He isn't just the dog or the monstrosity experiment. He is Stitch and he's a character, an actual person. On to the negatives. I mean, no disrespect to Dakota Fanning, the voice actress of Lilo in this film. She really does a good job and almost sounds identical to Lilo. But I just can't help every time she talks, I don't hear Lilo, I hear Dakota Fanning in an audio booth, especially in the beginning of the film.
Why are you doing this? Smash the pieces against that wall! Yeah, sorry. Well, thanks for coming. See you at the competition.
A lot of cringeworthy lines and scenes, but the biggest offender of them all is the David and Pleatley subplot, which I skipped over because it's just awful. Since Nani is so busy with work and having a crazy family to look after, the relationship between her and David isn't going well, and Pleatley decides to put the idea in David's head that the reason that is actually because she isn't interested in the relationship anymore. And what proceeds is Pleatley dressing up as a woman and trying to make Nani jealous so she'll get back together with him, and it's just... oh, it's what you see in sitcoms, and it's really, really cringeworthy and bad. The final complaint I have with the movie is its length. Not that it's too long. Oh no, the complete opposite of that. It's way too damn short. It's 60 minutes long. The first film was 90 minutes, and that felt quick. This one, just as you watch it, the next minute is over. And even then, that hour feels padded out already with the Pleatley and David subplot and the cringeworthy lines and scenes. If you cut all of them out and just had the two core plots, the two of them making the hula and Stitch's malfunctions, that would make for like round about 30 to 40 minutes of this movie. Well, after all of that rambling and ranting, what do I actually give the film? Well, it's very mixed to me because the side plots are cringy, the characters are dumbed down, but Stitch's character is super well done, the two main plots are brilliant, the surprising amount of quiet moments in the film and the overall production are what pushed the film up a lot for me, so I'll give it around about a 7/8 out of 10. If you like the first one, you might like something in this film, especially the last 10 minutes. But if you didn't like the first one, don't even bother with this one. You're not gonna like anything. And maybe it's because I'm so obsessed with this franchise, which is why I rate it so highly. But even something bad from Lilo and Stitch can never truly be bad. It'll just have bad bits to it. And I've rambled on and on about this film and not really made many jokes and more focused on my thoughts on it. That's just because I have a lot to say about it. Which is kind of ironic because Wikipedia had barely anything to say about it. But I hope you enjoyed the video regardless and at least found out something new. If you liked the video, press the like button, and if you want to see more Lilo and Stitch love, subscribe to me. Next time we delve into the big movie that started a TV series, Stitch the movie. See you guys next time. You know, why was there no mention of the hovercrafts in the future? They're so damn cool. And yet from here on out, all we see is this damn dune buggy. Could it be that Nani hid it so well that they never found it again and just forgot about it? Nah, the directors probably forgot.